Welcome back to another episode of Tides of Change. Each video takes a dozen hours to bring to life, so it would really help the channel if you could leave a like. And remember, members get early access to the next episode. Now then, back to the story. We're picking up right after where the battle had happened. The Cetari attack fleet confidently initiated this combat, is making a hasty retreat in the opposite direction. Just one pass was enough for them to take enough damage that their admiral has decided to bide their time and leave these waters. You can see some of the boats are still on fire, especially the flagship that Nyx set on fire. You can see the smoke rising from it for quite a while into the distance until eventually they put it out. Turns out Foxfire, with the blessing of a djinn, is very difficult to extinguish. But yeah, there is still one of their attack ships that remained, and that was the one that was next to the boat that Roderick and Jareth were on. There's lots of injuries going around because we have 4 boats, right? We have Hadrian's boat, we've got Jareth who took over Cracktooth, we have Jackal who had the second boat, and then we also have Captina Sorisa with her all-female Cathrope crew. So yeah, you got 4 boats, and there's a 5th one here, which is unfortunately too damaged. It's very much been destroyed by the sheer amount of cannon fire that happened in the previous battle. I will say, as the DM, you guys did really well, and it was the actions of the 4 of you that caused the admiral to call an early retreat. Yeah, we are picking up immediately afterwards. Solaris, give me a strength and dexterity roll. And acrobatics. You got to save the child. The child was underwater when the Kelpie died, which means the primal soul popped. So the child is underwater. Fortunately, the Abyssal is on site with a roll of 30. You make quick work in rescuing the child and bringing him to the surface unarmed and uninjured. Scared.
Yay.
But they've seen you before, and despite your scary appearance, they cling onto you for dear life because they can't swim. They grew up inside of the Fey Circle of Sanctuary, so they've never swum in their life before, and suddenly they were thrust into the deep ocean. So yeah, they cling onto you for dear life.
Poor baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hyacinth, you had front row tickets to a very scary Spira headshot on the Kelpie.
Oh yeah.
While Roderick is just still screaming like, no, as he's holding her still body.
Get a hold of yourself!
Nyx, you were jumping across between boats, so I'll just say that you managed to make the jump to the boat where everybody else is. Solaris, you did so well on the roll there that I'm going to say that you bring the child up and you scale the boat and bring it on top.
Mm-hmm.
The child immediately runs for Spira.
Understandable.
Thank you.
Spira just spreads her wing a little bit to shield the scene that she caused, and she doesn't feel that good about it right now, but she's gonna hug the kid.
Oh.
Speaking of which, Spira, you notice that your right wing is really tender and it feels bruised, like there's swelling underneath of it. Your primal soul tanked a crit hit cannon shot and lost its wing. So the damage that it took was mildly transferred across to you, but it's nothing too serious to worry about. You've got the apothecary skills to, reduce the swelling, but it does feel like numbish. Nyx, you've landed on the boat. You heard the fighting going on between the Kelpie and Roderick, so you had a rough clue of what was going on, but yeah, you just see him like mourning her loss.
What is going on over there?
It's Roderick being Roderick. Don't even worry about it.
He's being dramatic.
Jareth is busy performing checks on all the crew. He's sorting the crew into various categories of uninjured, mildly injured, seriously injured. Captain Sorisa has also pulled up her boat. So all the boats are rejoining together to assess the damage as well as share the one doctor besides Spira. Captain Sorisa has a doctor. She's middle-aged and she's also a Cathrope, and she has her hands absolutely full because this was a 9-ship fleet battle and there's only one doctor. So Spira, would you like to assist them? This is entirely your choice here.
Yeah, Spira's gonna check on the group first, though, and the kid, but then she's gonna go over.
Give me an intelligence and apothecary roll. We'll make this a general roll for how you're helping out the crew. Also, everybody else, give me an insight roll.
Insight.
Yeah.
Intelligence and apothecary, or
And for insight, you can take your highest mental.
Highest mental plus insight.
Yeah, plus insight.
Mental plus.
Oh, is it social?
Okay, so Spira, you've got your hands full. There's a lot of injured people. There was a lot of harpoons, a lot of gunfire, a lot of cannon fire. So a lot of things exploded. The imp's creation of explosive powder has definitely reshaped naval warfare. It hasn't caught on so much on land, but the power that it brings to fleets is unquestionable. So yeah, for those of you who've never encountered gunpowder before, which is pretty much all of you, you can see the efficiency of it. So Laris rolled a 30. Wow. You notice that Jackal is covered in small wounds, nothing too serious, but he's clutching his head. It seems like he's got a migraine of some kind.
I'm gonna check his spirits.
All right.
Just to make sure that stuff isn't resetting.
Okay, give me a spirit sense.
And I have advantage.
Nice. Well, damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, you definitely notice that the flow of spirits, which had been recovered before by the medication that he took, it is starting to destabilize a little bit, but you do notice that a part of him has stabilized. So the potion that he took before has seemed to have bought enough time for his soul to naturally heal a little bit so that it stabilizes his identity. So he isn't a complete, lost soul. He's got a massive headache. He tries muttering to you about he's seeing double.
There's 2 Spiras.
Pretty much. But he's really reckless, right? He charges. His ship plunged first into the battle, and Hadrian had to follow up on his brother. Like, oh my god, little brother, please.
Just lay down in a dark room, try and cover the windows. I'm gonna check on you a bit later, okay?
Okay. So he checks the rest of his crew. His crew seems to have taken the brunt of the beating, but they're all in high spirits. Like, you can tell the adrenaline is still going, so they're still battle happy, but yeah, they're gonna be feeling it later. The damage assessment is that there's a lot of injured people. A couple of people did pass away in the incident, but the Cetari fleet took much heavier beating. The 4 of you completely changed the tide of this battle, in the sense that normally 4 pirate ships would have been defeated by an attack fleet, a Cetari attack fleet, because that's what they specialize in. They train for this, right? They did not expect Foxfire, an army of primal souls amped up to 11, because Hyacinth, your resonance applied to the crit rolled primal souls. So those things were they were double crit strength, like beastly.
I do my best.
Yeah. So yeah. The damage to the Cetari ship is too much to be repaired with the material that's currently available. The ship is going to be looted, and then what's the naval term for when you scuttle? Yeah, that's it. You scuttle, and yeah, it's going to be scuttled. So they're going to loot it for all it's worth, take whatever valuables they can, so any of the metals, the cloth, the sails, the spare rope, whatever they can, and then basically just going to sink the husk that's left. So there'll be enough material to repair the rest of the boats.
You did well, soldier.
Yeah.
Time to go to sleep, ship.
Captain Sorisa approaches Spira, taps Hyacinth on the shoulder, who's sitting on Spira's shoulder, and is just like, "Where can I get one of you? You look. I've never met a Fae before, but after seeing that, I kind of really want to have one on my crew. Would you be interested in joining?"
Bound. You will be lucky to have one of us on your side.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I just wanted to also thank you for the jewelry you gave me before. It really matches my eyes. And she's admiring
no
it. Yeah.
I like the flip of Hyacinth. She's like, "Don't you dare ever say you can own a Fae." And then it's like, "Oh, no problem."
Yeah. Jareth is keeping his distance because of the drama between him and Sorisa in the past. So yeah, he's keeping his distance and focusing on his crew. And she seems to be keeping her distance as well from him, now that she's sorted out by giving back the book with the poem. You notice that Jareth and Hadrian are chatting a little bit, and everybody give me perception rolls. Nyx, you're gonna have to roll a 1 to fail this. So mental plus perception skill.
Don't jinx me now.
You got advantage. You don't have to roll 2 ones. Oh my goodness, everybody's rolling above 20. Okay, no
That's
privacy.
incoming.
No privacy for the dog boys, huh? Oh my lord. Okay. Everybody rolled above 20. Yeah, all of you hear this. Jared basically is asking Hadrian, like, can we take a slight detour? I know that we're heading towards Vergul. Can we please make a slight detour before we head there? It's on the way, so it won't make too much of a problem for everyone. And Hadrian is like, I see. Okay. It's very rare that you ever ask for anything, Jared. So I think, you've earned this. And I'm sure the others won't mind that much. All of you can hear this. But they don't realize that you can hear them.
Hyacinth would be like, what's that? Hyacinth knows no privacy.
We're all trying to eavesdrop.
Yeah, all of you are just leaning forward.
She's like, what's that? We're all pretty curious. She rats everyone out.
Yeah, Jareth turns around with a bit of a shock and he's like, I need to do something that I should have done a long time ago. If you guys would forgive me for dragging you slightly off course for a day, it would mean the world to me.
Hyacinth's okay with it, but she looks towards Spira.
I also look towards Spira after.
Nobody speaks and waits for Spira to speak.
Yeah. You've helped us so much, so yeah, I'm sure one day wouldn't hurt that much.
It's on the way, and if we're lucky, we might get good winds coming from there once we leave. So hopefully it won't cause any delay that's of significance. You can see he's nervous and he keeps looking towards Sorisa. He's just looking, he's like, and he's looking back and he's just like, I want to get this over with.
Is this about you and Sari? I'm just kidding. No, she's not gonna say that.
He looks at you with big puppy dog eyes.
I was just kidding. She doesn't say that.
I'm still gonna do it. He just looks at you with big puppy dog eyes. His big Dalmatian ears are drooped, and he's just like, please.
And then it's okay. Then Hyacinth just slaps her hand over her mouth and just stops. She's like, I'm gonna be quiet for the next hour.
Okay, thank you. You guys are traveling from Froz, and you've got about a 500 kilometers to go, but you are veering slightly off course. It's gonna take a while. You guys can choose one of the named NPCs to spend time with, to have an interaction with before we get to this detour destination. So, and only one character per person. So we have Hadrian, we've got Jackal, we got Sorisa, we got Roderick, and we got Jareth. So who wants to talk to who?
Hyacinth's definitely not talking to Sorisa.
I will talk to Sorisa and I will ask her to teach me how to snipe people with a gun.
Lessons.
Was so cool. She was so cool during that fight. I want to learn that skill.
I'm now terrified. I'm going to imagine an eight tentacles, each wielding a pistol. That's
oh my gosh.
Terrifying. Especially when you combine it with alchemy, so you always have a gunpowder on you.
Oh. Yeah, now
terrifying.
Choosing alchemy pays off. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I am so glad she's on our side.
I'll talk to Hadrian since I was on his ship. I want to congratulate him on his boat steering skills.
I'm gonna have Hyacinth talk to Jareth.
Spira, do you want to chat to Roderick or Jackal?
What a hard
She's gonna go with
choice.
Jackal in that case.
Choice.
Okay. I'm gonna start with Roderick first. Just because
No one chose him.
because nobody chose him.
Oh yeah, he's mourning, but everyone freaking hates him because he's a dumbass.
While everyone else is recovering from the battle and everything is going on, you notice that Roderick is performing a little funeral for the long-lost Kelpie. Nobody else is joining him. He's just standing there, he's laid her out with her arms crossed over, and he's going to push her into the water for a sailor's funeral. But he's standing there just muttering to himself some mumbo jumbo funeral rites type things. He can't remember that much, even though he's a noble from the Hicks family. you know, he didn't like study that hard, so he's not sure exactly how the Thorpe funeral is supposed to go, but he tries to say some nice things, and he's like, I knew I was good, but not to die for. That's the one thing you hear.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Jono, you're actually gonna make me feel bad. I was actually starting to feel bad for him, but then he says that, and I'm like, you know what? Never mind.
He made small character development, okay? He's going to relapse a little bit here and there.
That's fair. At least, I mean,
He actually thought she liked him. And then the kiss just made it worse.
And he thought that Spira was really envious, yeah.
That happens. Eventually, he lets her go. Sorry, but the rest of the world needs me. May we meet again in the afterlife.
I'm so gonna kill him someday.
She just looks down at him from the heavens and she's just like, I want to murder you again.
It's like,
He really
You
tried.
better not come where I am. I will kill you a second
come over
time.
here and you'll get everything you deserve.
So with him out of the way. So Nyx, you visit Hadrian, and Hadrian is busy steering the ships and everything. Oh, Nyx, how you doing? That was a mighty fine battle we had, and what wonderful fire you did to their flagship.
I can say the same to you. Your amazing steering skills totally helped out with everything.
Nah, they were already moving out of the way after you set them on fire.
I apologize, though. Once I've heard something was wrong on the ship, I tried my best to get that child back. But that Kelpie was too fast for me. I wasn't expecting her to jump between ship to ship. It was completely my fault.
No, it's okay. We should have realized that somebody would have come after them. The child was my responsibility on my ship, and you guys got him back again. So, yes, I thank you, like, greatly. I thank all four of you, really. Let me show you something in return. And he leads you to the edge of the boat. And you notice that as you guys have been sailing towards this, that the landscape has been shifting a little bit, the oceanscape, where the clouds have like strange hues of color to them. The clouds seem to be taking on an almost technicolor, faded, very dim, but the world seems a little bit more colorful in these parts of the waters. Yeah, he leads you towards the edge of the boat, and he knows you're afraid of swimming, even though your doggy paddle lessons have been going well. He takes out some dried fish from a catch that the crew have been fishing over the past few weeks as you guys have been sailing. He points towards the bottom of the ocean. You see these large, almost manta ray-like beings, like swimming under the water. They are much wider in their wings than the manta rays that you're probably imagining. And they also have like different stripes all over them. He takes the fish and he throws it as high as he can in front of the boat. And one of these manta rays just bursts out of the water and grabs it in the air and just starts flying away.
Oh,
God, I want to ride one of those one day.
I see why. Can I get a try?
Oh, sure. And he takes out a fish for you.
And then I have like the fish in my hand and I'm like trying to steady it so I can throw it, and then I toss it.
It helps you line it up, kind of like when you're throwing a frisbee. And yeah, as you do, a slightly smaller one busts out of the water and also like snatches it up and like does a twirl over the boat, over Echoes, and crashes back under the water into the side of it. And he's like, ha, that should be considered good luck when they cross over the bow.
Amazing.
The spirits in this part of the ocean, they're in a great mood for some reason. And he points towards the ocean currents, and you can see that the ocean itself also has slightly like shifting colors to it. Did you know that ley lines exist even in the ocean? They're more like currents than the lines that you would find on land. Us captains, we do certainly enjoy sailing along these ones.
I see.
That's the Hadrian story for you guys. All right. It was a little fun, lighthearted experience.
No, they had a date.
Okay. I'm just imagining Hyacinth in the crow's nest being like, now kiss.
There is so much shipping going on right now.
All right. So then, who was going to speak to Jackal? It was Spira, right? Yes.
Yep.
When you go down to Jackal, he did as you said. He was waiting in his room on his boat with the blinds drawn, massaging his headache. And he looks, he's like, oh, Spira, thanks for taking care of my crew. They still need to learn a lot, but they're toughening up pretty quick. You know he's really reckless. He's really reckless.
Yeah, maybe you should have a good lieutenant to sort of rein you down a bit.
Maybe, but I am the jackal after all. As he laughs a little bit, he's like, I'm the blank thrope who charges headfirst into battle. It's how I got my reputation.
Yeah, I've noticed.
You actually came at a really good time because, you know, I mentioned I was seeing double before. I'm now having strange dreams, like I'm in two places at the same time, and I don't fully understand. I don't know if this is really your field of expertise as a doctor, but I don't really have anyone else to talk to. I can see myself, but I'm in two places at the same time, and I don't know what's going on.
That does sound like my summons, actually. They are kind of like me, but on another place, and I can sense what's around them as well.
But I can't do magic. I mean, you saw what happened when I tried to use my primal ability. It almost killed me.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if you might have spirits in another place.
Oh.
Like some of your spirits are there instead of in you, because you do have your spirits are not flowing the way they should in your body, so maybe some are missing.
I really should have paid more attention to that whole magic stuff, shouldn't I? He scratches his head, but you know, it's not very common to find wizards on the sea. He just, you know, he like points a thumb towards the window. He's like, not many magic users come out this far.
Yeah, I can see that.
Give me an alchemy roll, and we'll see if you can duplicate a little bit of the potion that Dr. Sue had made before, because there was a tiny bit left. Resolve.
I think in that 20 when I was researching what was in it.
Then just give me a alchemy roll anyway, and I'll lower the difficulty. 37. Nice roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to create a duplicate of the potion.
Yeah, I give him some of it, but I also tell him, like, try and see what is this double thing that you see, because maybe that can give us a sense of where you were, because maybe we are getting closer to that place.
Okay, I'll try. And he drinks it, but he pulls a face like he's about to bite on a sour lemon as he looks at the potion, because obviously the first time did not taste very good. He's like, as he drinks the medicine regardless.
Be a big boy now and drink it.
The pirate captain doesn't want to drink his medicine. You notice immediately with the spirits that they do tend to stabilize again. The medicine from before was running out. He says things are definitely a lot more clear. Like, I'm not seeing double anymore. So that's a plus. I can now actually aim my cannons. So thank you, Doc. He's like, I'll let you know if I get any more of those strange dreams. I'll try to remember what happened. But you know how it is with dreams. You know, sometimes you just forget them. But I'll try.
Yeah, it's no worries. Just, I'm gonna try and keep some medicine on hand in case you need it.
All right. Okay. That is Jackal done. Okay. Solaris, you want to talk to Sorisa?
Yes.
You approach her boat, and she just looks at you and is like, how can I help you? Back on my boat again, I see.
Yes. You know, I kind of liked what you did back then.
Many do.
With sniping the enemies. And I was wondering whether you would be willing to teach me some of your skills.
Ooh, well, that won't come cheap, my dear. I mean, we've got the equipment fees, we've got the training fees, the ammunition fees. She's looking at you, just putting her finger, like she's digging her finger into her cheek, just like,
I mean, we just helped you in a battle, so I think we paid in advance.
I took one pair of jewelry in order to fight for you guys. Give me a diplomacy roll.
I have advantage diplomacy and I have manipulation as well.
Okay, go for it. Yep.
And I add my manipulation.
Diplomat.
I want to learn that skill for free.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Fine. I'll tell you a little secret, but as long as you don't tell the boys. She's like,
I won't.
Okay, I just want to thank you guys for helping get rid of that Cetari attack fleet. They've been trailing me for weeks. They were really upset when we raided their main fleet.
You raided their main fleet?
Yes, we raided. Like, the whole reason the Cetari ships showed up was because of them, and then you guys paid her to fight for you against them.
Oh my god!
Oh
I'm going
my gosh.
girl.
She conned us. We've been
Oh, I don't
bamboozled.
like her
We've been
anymore.
swindled.
Yeah. We
Gotta
should
say that's
protect
pretty
Jared from
smart.
her.
She's getting paid for what she caused.
Dang, you're
Sounds
all
like
with
a
advantage.
pirate.
Sounds like there's about to be a wet cat overboard.
Sorors is like, fine. But if you want any of my equipment, you're gonna have to buy it. I will sell you some of my pieces, but I will teach you for free just because I like you.
All right. But if you try to sell me some kind of faulty weapon,
I wouldn't dare. Okay, I take pride in my beauties as she slaps like her pistols on her sides as well as the rifle on her back. I maintain each of them myself personally.
then show me what you got.
What are you looking for? We got everything from baby's first handgun all the way up to a portable cannon. The sniper rifle is a bit of a one of a kind, but we could make something together, you and I, maybe. We could slap something together. But this one is custom made and no amount of gold will let me part with her. She is my problem solver.
So I would like to have something similar, maybe not as powerful as yours or a cannon, but something in the middle, which is also easy to learn how to use.
So you're aiming for the long range.
Yes, I want something that has longer range.
Okay, more precision, less power, more precision, longer range. She goes down into the deck of her ship and she rummages around for a bit, but eventually she comes out with a couple of muskets and stuff like that. I don't have a weaponsmith on board with me, so we're just gonna have to go with this. She takes out some glue and a telescope and she slaps it onto a musket and she's like, this, it looks jank, but the basic principle stands. Now, I have not met anyone else who has yet to be as genius as I am in the idea of putting a telescope on top of a musket. So if you find a weaponsmith, I'm sure you can convey the vague idea of this and they can make you something a little bit more reliable. But for now, this is the best I can do with what I got.
Roderick and her would make such good company. You know what I mean?
Great,
Like,
Jared's hot, why don't you?
No,
Jared, you could
are
do
just
so much better.
protecting him. He will dodge a bullet, quite literally.
Jareth, you could do so much better.
Yeah.
Hey, Solaris, give me your appraisal roll to see just how jank this is. You get the impression that she wasn't lying about the quality of the gun. It's just that the creation aspect of it, she's very smart in her ideas. It's just that, you know, she finds somebody to make her ideas into reality. She doesn't bring them to reality herself, you know. She paid somebody to make that custom gun for her, and she's giving you the hint to do the same, and that's because she likes you. She's like, this is your clue. But yeah, the musket itself is definitely like high quality. You get the impression that the ball shot from it will go pretty well above water. Below water, not so much. You have alchemy. You can try things.
Okay, but the big question is, how much would this musket cost?
I would say 20 gold without the gunpowder or ammunition because she's stingy.
20 gold.
You can make your own powder and ammunition now. So
Yeah. I think I will take it.
pleasure doing business with you. Come again. My shop's always open. So yep, that's Sorisa done then. You could add your musket rifle with a glued on. Imagine how the rest of the party's gonna think when you come back with just this glued on telescope on top of a musket. All right, that leaves Hyacinth. You want to speak to Jareth.
Yes.
All right, what would you like to say to him? He's been a bit quiet ever since Sorisa joined the fleet here. He's been awkward. He was nervous ever since you guys saw the flag before. And now that she joined it, you know, you can tell that he's fidgety. Yeah, you're not entirely sure what's going on because you don't understand this from a Fate perspective. Like what?
She kind of does.
Okay, so what would you like to say to Jareth then?
Having trouble?
In a sense, where we're going, I haven't visited in over 10 years. It's difficult.
I get it.
Do you know that poem that fell out of the book?
It was a pretty romantic one, right?
It was our favorite. You see, the island that we're heading to has a shrine It's said to be a shrine that the moon gods can listen through. And from the poems that we read in this book, we learned that a couple can get a moon god's blessing, which will grant protection at the cost of the other. Can I tell you something, Hyacinth? Please don't tell anyone else.
Of course not.
Like, even though, like, Sarista was upset at me, the whole reason, like, after what happened, I wanted to make sure that she was safe even as a pirate. So I've avoided this for the past 10 years because I wanted to have the protection still going. Now that she returned the book and the amulet, I need to return it to the shrine, and that's where we're heading now. She wanted to live as a pirate, and I didn't want to take that choice away from her. So yeah, I made the choice to keep that protection going, even if she didn't realize. Whenever she was in danger, I could feel it. I carried a bit of the cost of it. He's been protecting her for 10 years.
Hyacinth smiles really sadly. You're really a great guy.
Not so much. You saw how upset she was.
Oh, trust me.
Okay.
I've seen worse men, and you're nowhere close.
Okay.
She pats his back.
Now that she has returned the pendant and she's clearly made up her mind, I have to respect that. So, it's time that I did what I should have done. And yeah, that's where we're heading now. Just don't tell her I said any of this, please.
Of course not. But does that mean you don't have the blessing anymore? Did you even know if you had a blessing?
Oh, I did. When we went to that shrine, I could feel something powerful. And whenever she was in danger, I could sense that I was giving up some of my good luck in order to give it to her. So I have got so many stubbed pinky toes, you have no idea. He jokes. I like to think that I love to think that whenever you stub your pinky toe, it's just you protecting someone else from bad luck.
Oh. Hyacinth's respect for Jareth just shot up like 500 times.
Aww. Well, that's Jareth's little side story there. So yeah, he's been a bit of a bumbling mess ever since she appeared on the scene. But he's actually really happy that he got to talk to someone about it besides Hadrian, because Hadrian and him are best buddies. But he's been dealing with this for a while. So just being able to talk to about it has done wonders for him, and it's also helped him set his mind. So yeah, he's much more confident now. So. Yay, he's healing.
Yay!
Yay! Give me a manipulation roll. Plus...
Me?
Yeah, your charisma plus manipulation. I just want to see what level of, motivation a happy fae will do for this guy. You try. You pull the weirdest face possible, the most awkward smile ever, which actually just makes him burst into laughter. Thank you, Hyacinth.
And Hyacinth is upset now.
She's like, I want to help this guy.
I wanted to help, but all I did was make things weird.
Nah, you made it. It was so bad, it was good. He got a good laugh from it. And he's like, if you ever need another one of those pillows, let me know and I'll make you one anytime.
Yay!
All right, so that's everybody's side stories done. As you guys are approaching this island, you notice that the colors on the clouds have definitely become a very noticeable shift in technicolor. There's pinks, there's baby yellows, there's blues, oranges, there's reds. It's very mystical and very strange. Spira, you've flown through a lot of clouds, including an arachnar nest, but you've not seen clouds like this. Everybody give me spirit sense.
Hyacinth is just entranced in the view.
So beautiful.
You guys can feel that the spirits in this area are incredibly happy. They are in a really good mood.
Oh,
It's just like what Hadrian said.
going to Vibe Island.
Spirits are created from every emotion and thought that people with souls have. So even wild animals can create spirits, and when they leave the vicinity around the soul that created them, that's when they're considered wild spirits. Ley lines are the natural flow of spirits throughout the world, and the ley lines that Hadrian was mentioning earlier to Nyx must pass through this island. So this island must be a conduit or a connecting point of one of the ley lines in the world. There are many. The spirits here are incredibly happy though, more so than usual. You guys make landfall. The sun has already started to set, so the colors become even more spectacular with the purples and oranges of the natural sunset, plus the imprinting effect that the spirits seem to be having on the area around this island. It's not a very big island. There seems to be a very large stone-like rock jutting out of the center of the island. Yeah, the crew have started whispering amongst themselves. It seems word about going towards the island of one of the gods of love is been whispered around. A lot of the crew members have been making jokes about, you know, what if the island is like full of beautiful people kind of thing, you know? The rowdy crew are getting their hopes way too high. Nix, you would hear this because of your perception blessing. Roderick makes a joke saying, somebody built a shrine to me. He goes, I'm joking.
Oh, brother, this guy's still.
Yeah, when one of the crew members boos him for that joke, he says, you know, I'm joking. You know, most Thrope worship Gavon, the god of harvest and battle. He reaps wraiths with his scythes and feeds the innocent. So Gavin is life and death for the Thrope. Roderick, while he made the joke about the moon god's shrine, he has no interest in actually going to this island.
Oh.
So he is a devout worshipper of Gavon because he is a Hicks noble, and the Thrope worship Gavon. I thought Spira would like to know that little bit of information. He reaps wraiths with his scythe. So Gavin is a god that slays wraiths to protect the farmer's harvest.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he's a god of battle and harvest. So life, death, food, battle. He's many things to the Thrope. Okay. So I'm going to assume everybody disembarks from the boat to make landfall. Who is coming? I think Hadrian is going to stay behind because he doesn't want to impose on this. So it's going to basically be Jareth and possibly Sorisa.
I'm not imposing. Hyacinth's not imposing.
As a party, let's do a party roll. Like, what would you guys prefer? Would you prefer her stay behind or join? I'll let you guys decide by like making a group roll.
What's the group roll?
Everybody just rolls a d20, and if collectively it's really high, then I'll go with what you guys said.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Okay.
Oh my god.
3 19s and an 18.
Why,
Wow.
here I come ruining it.
What?
One away from all 19.
Somebody take a screenshot of this.
The memes would have been amazing. Never give your players a choice. So what would you guys like? Would you like her to stay behind?
No, I mean, stay behind.
No.
Stay behind.
Okay, so she's going to stay behind.
Wait,
Okay.
yeah, stay behind.
As you guys disembark from the boat, it's just going to be the 4 of you plus Jareth. You notice that he's carrying the book before. So as you approach, you notice there's a small hut near the edge of the beach, and there's smoke coming out from a little chimney in this hut. And it's not very well made, but it looks homely enough. The door opens the moment you guys land on the beach, and an elderly person steps out. Perception roll, everybody. Or spirit sense. Take your pick, whichever one you want.
I'll do spirit sense.
All right.
I do a perception.
Jono, look at my 2 rolls.
Wow. Okay.
A spirit sense as well.
Okay. All of you notice it immediately, but this guy has 0 primal features, and the spirits around him seem to be floating. The wild spirits seem to be floating in a way that avoids him. Like they don't want anything to do with him. Like as they're drifting, they just naturally drift away from him. Kind of like when a fly senses like insecticide nearby, it's like veers across to the side. Nothing malicious, nothing evil, just like he's not popular with the spirits and he has no animal features. But he's an old man with a walking stick, and he approaches your group. Do you guys want to do anything, or do you want to let him speak?
I'm a bit freaked
Let him
out.
speak.
Hello. It's been it is good to see all of you are here finally.
Do you know us?
Who are you?
I knew that you would come here. I prepared a meal for everyone. I know that you guys have been eating fish for quite a while now, and I thought you would like to enjoy some of the fruits of this island. He gestures towards the hut for you guys.
Hyacinth's gonna back
How did
away.
you know that?
Yeah.
But who are you?
Jareth steps forward and he's like, don't worry, this is the caretaker of the shrine. He welcomed us when we came here last time. He's like, oh, Jareth, you've grown up so much since then. Thank you. Well, if you guys are not hungry, I can only assume the reason you're here is what brought you here last time. And Jareth's like, nothing gets past you, does it? And he takes out the book full of the poems, and he takes the pendant inside that Sorisa had been hiding inside of it. He takes the pendant out so that he's holding it, but he passes the book back to the man. He looks at the book with a sense of longing, and he's just like, Oh, Lafine, this was written by my love. She was an elf. You, he looks towards Nyx, he says, you asked who I was. I'm human. I was a former prophet, exiled from Mythica for failing in my visions correctly. They still work from time to time. I got glimpses of a young Jareth and Sarisa when they came here seeking to repeat the same story that my love and I once had. And he points towards the book and he says, it seems that her poems were taken great care of by these two. And you can feel Jareth wince a little bit because the page fell out when Sarisa gave it back. He winces a little bit and he goes, but I knew that the 5 of you would be coming here today. But it's just that unlike before, the fates of all of you here are much more shrouded, but not solid, not decided. Don't take my words too seriously. I didn't expect a visitor today besides you guys. I didn't see them coming at all, but don't worry, you'll meet them later. For now, oh, Jareth quickly interrupts and he's just like, I'm so sorry that we didn't take care of the book. We didn't know that it belonged to your lover. He's like, no, I'm just happy that the 2 of you enjoyed her poems so much. It's better than to sit on a shelf unread. A worn book is a loved book after all. There's something both beautiful and sad in how, like, love can leave its marks, but who decides that scars have to be ugly? As he cherishes this book, he's reliving the memories of this elf. When I was exiled from Mythica, I had nowhere to go in this world, but I found her, and the 2 of us traveled together. She, even though she was an elf, she didn't treat me like most humans are, and ironically, she passed away first from sickness, and she brought me here to this island where we got the moon god's blessing so I could finally live outside of Mythica without being hated or mistreated by the spirits. After she passed, I stayed here to return my thanks to the moon gods, so I take care of the shrine on this island. And he just like hugs the book a little bit. He's just like, thank you for bringing it back.
Oh.
I guess I can't keep you guys away from your destiny for too long. I guess you should head up towards the shrine then. Do you guys want to say anything before you go? He turns around to head back to his hut, and you notice that he's swaying to the memories of an old dance. And you can see that, yeah, he does have a little bit of move still in him, but you know, he's just happy because he's like, he's indulging in the memories of his deceased lover. So yeah, and he's got her poems back. He's just happy that Jareth and Sarisa got to enjoy her poems so much over the past decade. So yeah, he's just also very relieved to have them back. Jareth is like, okay, then let us head up to the shrine then. Let's get this over with. He's nervous. As you guys approach, you see the stairs leading up and up to the top of that huge pillar in the middle. And at the very top is a shrine that Nyx would notice is very similar to the moon shrines on the Celestial Den. However, it is now nighttime. The sun is set. As you reach the top of the shrine, you hear the sounds of a tiny bells ringing. Okay, here we go.
Oh, hello! Finally! I've been waiting for a long time for you. Years.
Yeah.
I see it. Oh!
It's another kitsune.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they look like you, smaller.
How do you guys react? What do you want to say to this tiny kitsune child with 2 tails?
What are you doing?
Spira's just gonna look down because she just...
I didn't think there'd be a shrine here too.
I'm not a myth.
Hyacinth is just gonna wave. Hi.
Hi. And yes, in the River of Fate, I'm a kitsune just like you.
And she points at Nyx.
How are you off the island?
That's a secret.
I just said that Spira looked down because she thinks that this is a very important person.
The tilting the head is a sign of respect from the centaurs. Yeah. Talaris, what do you react to this? Because there's another fox.
Yeah, no matter how much I want to be indifferent towards her, I think I would crack a little bit of a smile because she's so cute. Even though she's a
So
kitsune.
cute. Excuse me.
So just a tiny bit of lopsided smile and a head nod, maybe.
So she said earlier that she's been waiting years for you. She's been waiting a long time.
For Jareth?
For all of you.
No, for you.
Oh,
all of us.
All of you.
How is this possible?
How do you know about it?
You knew we were all gonna be here together? All of us.
Because the spirits told me we always chat a lot, and they said today you will come, and then I should be on the island.
So you traveled here to see us.
Yeah. Are you happy? I'm happy. I can meet you.
Why did you want to meet us?
So cute.
Well,
Adorable.
someone else told me that that person wants to meet you and they need my support. I've been waiting for you, but not here, but at home. And then the spirits told me you will come today, so I'm here.
How do you want to help us?
You will know soon, and I know it might be confusing for you, and I also want to share a lot of things to you, but mom and dad said I shouldn't share my name, unfortunately. They are easy to be stolen, and I will never forget your spirits anyway, because we have met. Someone is waiting, so just give me a moment. I have to remember what mom taught me. This and that and...
Oh, I'm dying. This is so cute.
It's so cute.
A bubble forms around all of you, and as this happens, the little kitsune girl in front of you transforms. Her hair lengthens and she gains 9 tails, all of which all of which appears before you. Everybody here can sense the change. Not only did the whole world go silent once the bubble was formed, but the density of the spirits within it is almost overwhelming. You realize now that the person you're speaking to is not the same child, but rather a god.
Wow.
Please forgive my daughter's behavior. She's a handful even on the best of days. She won't even listen to us once she made up her mind. Unfortunately,
Hyacinth is a bit confused. She's like, is that not her anymore?
Yes. So you are her mother?
yes, I am her mother. I know you have a lot of questions. I'm not actually here. I'm speaking through my daughter. Unfortunately, this barrier won't last long, so I will take the time, share as much as I can, but I can't answer all of your questions. The other gods are quickly to notice when one of us directly interferes, since it seldom happens. Us, gods have the power, not freedom, to exist beyond the river of fate, and slaves us to the wild spirits of those who worship us. Hence, why my child must never speak her name, lest those begin to worship her. I must act in the manner of those who believe in me expect, hence letting her coming here at this most dangerous of times, despite my wishes as the mother.
The way that gods work, the gods have power, but they don't have freedoms because gods have to behave in the way that their followers believe they should. Because she is the aspect of the moon and love, she has to let her child be free, because every parent must let their child go at some point. So she, even though she doesn't want her child to be here, her child is free-spirited. Whereas mortals have freedom, but they don't have as much power. She speaks to Jareth now.
As the god of moon and love, I must let her be free.
Jareth kind of just nods a little bit like, okay, I understand. I need to let Sarisa go about her own path now. I can't keep trying to protect her. So now she's going to direct her attention towards you.
I give you my support in hopes you take our side to keep her safe should anything happen to her in the mortal realm. My husband, the former god of moon, raised me to godhood, and we became the aspects of love.
Nyx, you know this story of a kitsune who achieved 9 tails, who was legendary for her beauty and her wit, and that the god of the ocean and moons fell in love with her. And when she was nearing the end of her life, he couldn't bear to see this mortal pass, and so he cast aside his godhood in order to ascend her. And in doing so, one of the moons fell onto Sorors. And despite this, his power was so great and his act was so pure that he still retained some sense of godhood, though he became the god of love and she became the new god of the moon. The two of them have been living on the moon together ever since. However, over the thousands of years, this story has warped and twisted, and these two gods have both become to embody the aspect of the moon and love itself. Solaris, from your perspective, this is completely different. From the Abyssal, the god of the ocean and moons was manipulated by the Kitsune, who tried to seduce the god in order to drop one of the two moons onto Sorors itself, creating the celestial den in order to create an island that would separate them from all of the other species. The abyssal religion speaks of how the Kitsune plotted and schemed to ascend one of their own into godhood and robbing the original god of his aspect of the ocean. And since then, the oceans have never been the same for the abyssal. And this is the whole reason for the war between the abyssal and the Kitsune, is that they want to acquire the aspect of the ocean itself to return to their god or to possess for themselves. Nyx, for the rest of you, for Spira and Hyacinth, the 3 legendary figures that made Nyx's sword must have come after this because their story ended when the gods grouped up together to take down those 3 friends who were approaching godhood. So you get the impression that when this god ascended from a Kitsune to the status of a god, essentially created so much chaos in the world that the other gods decided that whenever mortals get close to it, they would rather nip that in the bud early. And since gods are enslaved to the wild spirits of the world, in a sense, they can kind of view it as a mercy killing as well. So, yeah, gods don't have freedom. They have to behave in the way that their followers wish them to. Now the god's going to continue speaking. So she's talking about her husband now.
He still has some pull on the ocean spirits. He will protect you from the harm that normally befalls those who attempt to breathe them or swim to deep. And from me, I offer the most powerful gift of all, to unveil the dark designs of those who architects who have twisted your past in the river of fate for their own gain. The one known as the Nine has driven the devils into deeper worship of their dark ascended god, Lucion, the ambitious wielder of betrayal, theft, and corruption. Our fate is wrapped by the actions of 5 devils, 4 move in service if against each other, whereas the 5th rebels. They all embody one of Lucion's aspects.
Just to provide some context here, essentially what she said is that Zenai's mission to eliminate all the devils from Sorors has caused them to grow more and more desperate and turn to Lucion for help. And he is using this for his own machinations. And there are 5 devils that have manipulated your fates, that your fate is being warped by the actions of 5 devils. 4 of these devils move in service to Lucion. Even if they are fighting against each other in their service, they still are working towards his goals. Whereas the 5th devil rebels. But all 5 of them embody at least one of Lucion's aspects.
You have already met the betrayer, but their mask blocks even my sight. I can barely see their lingering spirits collide ever so loosely around you. Its goals are equally hidden. The thief wished to lure you to his den, but you narrowly escaped, instead choosing to gorge himself on the power of thousands. You see, a thief can still give, though fraudulent, with the false memories planted in the blank companions of yours. Upset that you avoided him, he set you up to collide with his arrival.
The first devil is the betrayer that you guys have already met, but their mask is so strong that not even the gods can see exactly who this is. And the god can only just barely see their lingering spirits coiled ever so loosely around your souls. Whatever the betrayer devil is up to, not even a god can see it. As for the thief, the devil embodying the aspect of the thief, he wished to lure you into his den, but you guys chose not to fall for his bait, and he decided then to gorge himself on the power of thousands. You can kind of figure out it was the Bloodbee Cave.
Yeah.
He was manipulating you through the jackal. He's planted false memories, and the rival of the thief is the next one, which is the corrupted. So even though the thief couldn't lure you into his den, his backup plan is that he would put you on a collision course with the next devil, which is corrupted.
The corrupted, who awaits at the ocean floor, the most desperate for Lucian's approval and gifts. The sleeping children you seek have gathered in her clutches, as is the rebel. The last is the most loyal and dangerous of all, toiling to slay the seraph stained with blood, who thought the dark lost ambition.
The last 2 devils, there's the corrupted, who awaits in the ocean floor where you guys are heading towards now. So you know, you've now 100% confirmed there is a devil at the bottom of the ocean manipulating things going on down there, and they embody corruption. And the sleeping children, the unicorn children, have been gathered in its clutches, as well as the rebel. Now, the last and most loyal of Lucion's servants, the final devil, is currently toiling away to slay Sinai.
Oh no.
You've met the betrayer, but you don't know which character it is. The rebel you haven't met, but the rebel is currently in the clutches of the corrupted, who is the most desperate for Lucion's approval and gifts.
But the demon was also instructed by a demon or a devil.
Yeah, demons are artificial wraiths that devils have learned how to create to try and stop Zenai.
Mhm.
So the devils are just people who were tricked by devils into contracts that forced them to burn their own souls until...
Yeah, but it was the rebels doing,
You don't know. You don't know that.
so we don't know yet. Mhm.
You don't know yet.
Okay.
The last one is the most dangerous one.
Ugh.
Okay, so as she gives her final warning, the bubble itself that she cast earlier begins to crumble.
I must go. Take our gifts and protect our child. We beg you.
Because the gods have to follow the will of others, she is offering you this information as well as this gift as a pleading to protect her child, because she can't control her child, and Sorors is really dangerous right now. So she's basically like, I'm hoping that the four of you will at least be able to do something should anything happen to her. So the bubble itself goes down.
Tingly, too many spirits. So what happened? Wait. Don't tell me. She probably wants me to come home. Meh.
You are free to do whatever you want, child.
Yes,
Just
I
stay
agree.
safe, child.
My mom always said that it's dangerous, but I want mystery. I like to travel. No one can stop me.
Child, please. I was the same way once. Please.
Hyacinth, give me a luck roll quickly. Just a pure D20.
Pure D20. Uh-oh. Here we go. Bad luck ahoy. Woohoo!
Okay,
Mid.
mid. Okay, you sense the needle next to you starting to vibrate with spirits, and you hear that voice that you've heard before, calling out in a bit of a panic, going, Hyacinth, where are you? I lost sight. Everybody can hear this.
What?
What?
Everybody hears this
Where
from
did
the
that
needle.
voice come from?
Hyacinth, how do you react to this?
That's the voice I heard. Back. You remember back when the Fae was being attacked? That's the voice. Who are you? She looks at her. She picks up her needle and looks at it.
Titania, is that you? You haven't played with me in forever. Faye, please give me that needle. I want my friend back. We have so much to talk about.
Hyacinth, how do you react? She wants to steal your needle.
No. This is my god. I can't. She holds her spear, or she holds the needle very protectively.
The needle, the voice from the needle speaks up and says, no, Hyacinth needs it. My circle still stands, so you can go to Queen's Rest. You might find a way to speak to me there, okay? And the voice starts to crackle and fade. I must go before he notices. Please, hurry. She was speaking to the child, the moon child.
I know, but Hyacinth is like, oh my god, just talk to me.
Okay.
So she faces the rest of you guys now.
I'm gonna see my friend now. I can't wait to see her. Maybe we will meet again at Queen Rest. Or not. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
She immediately jumps off of the cliff, which makes all of you like freak out because a small child just jumped off of a fatal cliff. Spirit sense, everybody.
Can Hyacinth be too distracted to do spirit sense right now?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, her needle talked to her.
Not only that, but her god talked to her.
Yeah. Imagine.
I forgot to do advantage, but it's good.
It's
so.
good. All right. Yeah. So you can see how high up the shrine was on here. So yeah, this would have been a fatal jump for any child that would have jumped off of this. But as soon as she leaps into the air, you can all sense the super amounts of spirits passing through this ley line. They all seem to gather around her, and she gently floats down towards the surface of the ocean water. When she lands on the surface water, she giggles and jumps and skips along the surface of the water as if it was solid earth. The water spirits are supporting her as she runs across the world. She just starts walking towards the ocean, just starts skipping away happily. The spirits in the air all seem to shudder with excitement and happiness as the Moonchild leaves.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yay! And just for some context, the moon god, the moon goddess, she is basically going to convince her husband to allow the entire party to breathe underwater and not suffer the consequences of high pressure. That's what the goddess was trying to say. My husband still has some sway over the ocean. So, you know, we'll help you, but you got to help us. Like, protect our child, please. You are now babysitting a god's child. But she's already run off.
Skipping across the water around the world.
Breathe underwater.
Yeah, Spira's amount of children.
Talk to one of our gods, okay?
I was gonna say, Solaris, I'm surprised she's not in shock too, because she just literally had her religion be told that it was a lie.
Yeah.
Is it though?
And my very own unique power to breathe underwater was shared with a kitsune, so I am not too happy.
I was wondering if you were gonna pick up on that. The reward from the kitsune god doesn't help the abyssal in the slightest.
Yeah.
You'll start like Solaris.
Not pleasing you.
Solaris, a part of you starts to understand how this war all started.
Yeah. Absolutely. Plus, one of my blessings from the Jinn was to endure the pressure of the ocean, and now all of you have it. I mean,
Temporarily.
I feel robbed.
Temporarily.
Solaris, there's much more to your blessing than just that. You know this.
Yeah, I know, but it was just a small part of it.
Yeah, I will say this: you like the gods cannot interfere directly. Well, they can interfere directly, but it doesn't happen often because all the other gods start paying attention, and when the gods start messing around with things, stuff gets messy quickly. I mean, look what happened the last time a god ascended. You know, like a moon dropped on the freaking planet. So yeah, basically the gods are like they exist outside of the river of fate, kind of like a higher dimension. It's really hard to explain. It's not like another like plane of existence, but it's outside of fate itself. So the Moonchild, because Hyacinth, you know that Titania existed thousands of years ago, right? And yet this Moonchild was super excited to play with her friend and is like, Titania, you haven't spoken to me in forever, right? So the concept
That child's old.
the concept of time works differently with the Fae and with the gods. They exist outside of fate itself. So time is also more like a toy that they can play with. So yeah, godhood is extremely powerful, but they're enslaved. They're trapped. All right. So that is the core takeaway from this very special episode. Starting from next week, you guys will be heading towards the Abyssal City. What do you guys think?
That was crazy.
Wow. Finally got to see the legend.
Hyacinth's lore finally got a bit of an update.
Yes.
The next episode should be right here. Thanks for watching.